Well, my friends, what a privilege and joy to be with you. I hope you've had an amazing week. And yeah, I've been learning a lot this week. Lots of interesting insights I want to share with you. And yeah, we've been talking about trauma quite a lot in these sessions. And part of my motivation with that is in my space holding, as I share meditation and deepen my practice and my sharing of Qigong and meditation. One of the fears I have is trauma coming up and one of you being triggered and going into a space that isn't comfortable for you. And a skill I want to develop and on the journey of developing is that space holding of being able to stay grounded through difficulty and to be grounded in love and acceptance, even through intensity coming up. And so I'm on a mindfulness teacher training course with Tara Brach and Jack Cornfield, and there's loads of amazing insights around it of how to soften, how to be aware of trauma in the way that we share mindfulness. But I went on a retreat this weekend that has a very different approach to trauma than the ones that we've been discussing. And so, I went to this retreat where for me, my training is like, okay, we've got to be sensitive around trauma and be careful around it because we can trigger people. In this retreat, it's embodied healing is the best way that I would describe it. And you go around in a circle in the group, in nature, community and nature, going on a journey together of healing. And instead of kind of maybe not wanting to go into trauma, the space holder would say, right, who's got trauma? Who's got something they want to process? Get in here, get in the circle. And then say somebody's father had died when the person was young. And there's a lot of trauma and pain that has not been processed. The idea of the space is to physically embody the internal system of this individual. So their father died, and then we get someone else from the group to represent their father, put a veil over their head. And then this person has an opportunity to say what they needed to say to their father. And this is family constellation systems. You may have heard about it. And it led to some really powerful experiences, some very, very challenging experiences, but nonetheless powerful. And if you want to learn more about this retreat space, it's called Change is Possible Project, the CIP project, if you type that in. You can find that out. They are in Devon in the UK. And what it taught me is the power of love. And again, just this general teaching that we are finding as we deepen our practices together is that actually the intensity of the emotion isn't something that we need to resist. It is our birthright to be able to hold that intensity, even the most intense grief, even the most intense sadness and anger, is that if we resist it and don't go there, then it stays in us. And emotions are energy in motion. But because we resist, we don't allow them to move through us. And so only if we feel in a safe space, in a held container, where we do get the support to be able to go there, to go to the dark depths of our souls and the pain that we've gone through, if we have that support, it can be really transformational and healing to go to that deep place. In the film that I've been making over the last 6 months, I went to Scotland and was up on top of the mountains. And one of the metaphors that we got from that film was the inner mountain view. So the word wisdom comes from the word to see in Indo-European languages. So wisdom is to see clearly, it's to have perspective. And on a mountaintop, you see clearly, right? You can physically see more. But we can also cultivate the inner mountain view, that place of perspective, that place of wisdom from which we can navigate what's happening in our lives. And this group therapy, basically, this retreat that I went to was like everyone taking torches from the inner mountain view and saying, look, there's been goblins coming out of this dark valley for decades. Let's go and shine a light down and go investigate what's down there. And so bringing the light of awareness and to bring up with the support of community to go see the ghouls and the goblins deep in our valleys of trauma and pain, and to witness them and to see them and to acknowledge them and to witness them with love. And then the goblins, they feel witnessed, and so then they can no longer just have to scuttle out of the valleys and infect our lives in ways that we don't understand, and continues to affect us for many decades during our lives. The light of awareness can heal us. And so this is why not only meditation is helpful, but also therapy, be it a retreat setting like that. And that is, powerful therapy, and may not be right for everyone because it is really intense. Lots of screaming and lots of pain that people are working through. So therapy could be, talk therapy, talking with a therapist over a period of time, so that you can go and investigate what's going on for you. What's in that valley? Where are those goblins coming from? Why are they there? Trust yourself that you can face these parts of yourself and not break and not crumble. So investigation being really important, but also remembering the inner mountain view, which is our meditation practice, which is actually the goblins and the ghouls. They can come and go. Life is inevitably part of this human existence, is to find life difficult and have the goblins of the mind. And actually often we don't need to analyze them. We can just let them scuttle away, and we watch them go, we watch them come, we watch them go, we watch them come, we watch them go, and we extend compassion to that. And so can we hold both approaches in our journey, investigation and acceptance? Yeah, investigation and simple awareness. So Vivian sharing, she's working on many things, but feeling like she's failing it. And feeling like others can make it, but then no hope for myself. So sometimes it can feel like our healing journey is just not possible. And, other people can heal, but I am uniquely messed up, and I've got a lot of challenges that other people don't. And first of all, acknowledging there is a great diversity of challenge, that some people, including yourself, may have really, really tough things to get through that are more of an energetic challenge than other people may face. But there isn't a hierarchy in trauma. There's not a hierarchy in pain. And even, the supposed elite with all the trappings of materialism, the finest clothes and the finest food, they too can find life challenging and find it hard to heal. And then on the flip side, people in some of the darkest places, say, take Nelson Mandela, who was jailed for 26 years for standing up for his right to express himself, still found the space in his heart for healing and for forgiveness, and to act from a place of love, not hate. And so even those who have supposedly the easy life find life hard, and even those people who have serious challenges that we wouldn't wish on any of us, they can still heal. And so an invitation is just to watch those stories of, I'm not fixable, there's no hope for me. Because ultimately they are stories that you are creating and empowering through identifying with those thoughts that pop into your head. And this is where the meditation practice can be really helpful, because you could name that, okay? So rather than just, for most of us, just being lost in those stories with no perspective, come to your inner mountain view, take a breath. Okay, there's that story of hopelessness. I see you. And it may feel that things are dark right now. But one of the fundamental truths of life is impermanence. This too shall change, and no storm lasts forever. In the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu talks about how if a storm can't last more than an evening or an afternoon, then if heaven and earth can't sustain challenge and trouble, then neither can the human. And so, in some ways, it is hubris to imagine that we would be different, that we would be stuck forever. And it may be indeed that the relationships that we are in do not change. You know, those people do not change. And the things happening in the world do not change. But our practice is to find the freedom within. There is a space between the stimulus and the response, and that space is your freedom and your power. So our art and our skill and our magic only in the sense that it's unusual, is to transform stimuli that would normally aggravate and to disempower us, like those thoughts popping into your head if there's no hope for me, and to transform them into a response that serves you, into something that empowers you. And for much thinking, that is often just letting it go, coming back into your body, coming back into the here and now. And so the powerful practice we do each week is taking a couple of breaths together. So when you're lost in thinking, you can come to your breath. So why don't we take a breath together now? Invite us to breathe in, softening the face. A nice slow exhale, softening the face even more. You notice thinking, breathe in, nice and slow, gentle inhale. And breathing out, just letting that thinking go. Come back, come back. So we can do that throughout the day to help us step out of the reactivity and to find more ease. Yeah, Elvin sharing, there's always the fear of showing people the anger, the hurt side of ourselves, because what if it changes how they view us? It's terrifying. So yeah, to be vulnerable is to take courage. It is a courageous act to be honest. So much of our pain in our own lives and in our societies comes from the fact that we just don't express ourselves. And we don't express ourselves, and then we snap. A quote, I've forgotten who said it, I love, is, not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it's faced. Not everything that is faced can be changed, but not anything can be changed until it's faced. And so it takes bravery to be honest. And maybe actually you do want to change how people view you. Like if you think about bullies, 80% of the time when you stand up to a bully, they stop because they've reached a boundary and they respect boundaries. They almost crave boundaries. Often bullies, they didn't get boundaries from their parents. And so they just kept on pushing and pushing and pushing, beginning to be abusive to other people because they craved to be held by boundaries. And so if you say, no, that's not acceptable, and to be really strong and firm in that boundary, then often a bully will stop. And so, yeah, that holding of your boundaries and expressing what is happening for you can transform your relationships. And it takes courage to step into that uncertainty. What is going to happen when I express my truth? And there's a skill to expressing our truths, to communicate our truth in a way that is likely to be received. And so just saying, you make me angry, look how angry you make me feel, is unlikely to lead to a change that is going to be good for you. So again, nonviolent communication is a language of love that I recommend for all of you on your journey, and has been transformational for me, is giving that language to communicate our heart space with skill. And so, when you didn't come home at the time you agreed to, I felt angry, and I felt angry because I felt my needs for consideration weren't being met. So taking responsibility for our emotions, instead of judging and blaming the other, we take responsibility, but also with confidence, we express what happened for us. This is how I felt. And this is a request that if you are going to be late, to let me know. And yeah, maybe expressing isn't always right either. So again, this is your wisdom journey, is to know when to express and when not to express. And that's when wise counsel from friends or a therapist can help you decide when is the right time to express. So from Vivian, how do you get started or motivated to exercise? Are there simple techniques for starting? Yeah, so one of our deep needs is to move. And how do we get moving if we feel stuck and turgid and feeling like we haven't got the motivation to get out? A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So we can do amazing things, but to do amazing things starts with one step at a time. And all we need to do is take one step. And so how can you break down exercise into something small and manageable? James Clear in the book Atomic Habits has got some great ideas, and that's a fantastic book I'd recommend for you. Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you want to go running, instead of saying, right, I'm going to go run tomorrow morning, put your running shoes next to the front door, and then say to yourself, right, I'm just going to put my running shoes on, and right, I'm just going to go outside and take 2 steps. And so instead of making running this big thing, all you are doing is taking a few steps. And so suddenly that becomes easier, right? Because you haven't got the pressure on needing to be a fit person doing exercise. You're just beginning to move. And then once you're out, you find, okay, I'm out now and I can move a bit more and move a bit more and move a bit more. That's how it happens. That momentum, that flow begins, and you find that movement more easily. So that would be one idea, is to celebrate, is to break it down. And then secondly is to celebrate your wins. Now, we could only move from where we are today. And so if you have been stuck, don't put the judgment on yourself of if you've gone out and done 10 steps. Oh, I should be running 5Ks. Celebrating where you are. And love and kindness and compassion, that's what this journey is about. We may not have the best brains or the fittest bodies, and we may have injuries and things that restrict us, so we cannot do what other people can do. But what is available to all of us is self-acceptance. And I've realized that is what I can aim for in my journey and in my life, is self-acceptance, because self-acceptance comes with a beautiful power, an energy for change that inspires others, inspires ourselves to embrace exactly where we are in the here and now. That's hard because we're bombarded with images of what success looks like, what beauty looks like, and so to acknowledge and accept where we are right now, that's powerful. That's a bold statement. It takes practice and courage to stay in that connection of I am enough as I am. That is available to all of us, because the truth of our being that we connect in our meditation practice is that we are consciousness, embodied consciousness. All the judgments about you not being good enough are constructs. Thoughts are rising in your mind, and yet you identify with them and you give them power. Can you let go of the identification with all these stories that you're not good enough and just embrace exactly where you are right now? It's great freedom to find there. And that's a journey that I continue to work on. It's life is a journey of finding ourselves, feeling in connection with a wiser understanding of ourselves, and then getting lost again. And I'm on that journey as well. And so sending love to all parts of that journey. We got one more question from Susie. Any advice on burnout? Been transforming my habits and been on a healing journey for more than 3 years now. And still productivity is a challenge. Patience is a bit hard when things need to be done. Yeah, so I've got a lot on at the moment. I've been working on this film that I'm super excited about, and I've got the retreat next week that many of you will be there for, and I'm so excited for it. And I have been feeling a lot of weight here, and part of our meditation and Qigong practice is to bring awareness to where we hold tension. And I notice all of my tension here. So much time spent up here. And as part of my journey, I'm so passionate about what I do. And a lot of what I do is in my head. And I want to honor that part of me and the energy I have for what I do. But I have been, last week feeling under-resourced and feeling a bit on the edge of burnout. And had this amazing retreat on the weekend, felt really drained on Sunday and Monday, but still I got so much to do, still trying to push it. And I had a conversation with my mum where she began to invite and to soften. And I actually did a movement session yesterday, where I shook. I did this. And we can do some of it. Yeah, let's do some of it today in our movement. Shaking out my tension that was in here, moving the body to bring that tension down and bring that energy down and out. And that was really healing for me. I really needed it. And so patience is the word that you used. And I wanted to share a Tao Te Ching chapter. The Tao is always at ease. One of the key lines there, does not hurry. Yeah, it completes everything on time. So this scarcity of time that we may feel, that there's not enough time and I've got to work really hard. That idea of time lacking is a construct of our minds again. Time is only here and now. It's the unfolding now. The future only exists in our constructions of what the future is and how much time we might not have. And so taking responsibility for that feeling of burnout, it is because of your thinking and because of my thinking that tension begins to arise. Those last lines, got the weather report here, last lines, the Tao covers the whole universe, and though its meshes are wide, it doesn't let a thing slip through. And so can we get out of our own way? We can be supported. We can follow the way of nature and do amazing things like nature has without needing to force, without needing to burn out, without needing to push ourselves. Action in non-action, doing yet without the feeling of forcing. And so is there an area in your life that you can soften around, that you can bring patience to? Allow yourself to just take each day at a time, just one step at a time, one day at a time. And if you find tension coming from thoughts in your head saying there's not enough time, and then you begin to bring that rigidity, bring awareness to that. Come back to your inner mountain view. Breathe into it. Shall we take another breath together? Breathing in, softening, breathing out. Let's take another. Can you soften? Breathing in, breathing out. So you have these practices available for you. The practice of the pause. Come back to your inner mountain view. Noticing that thinking, giving yourself permission to be here. to act from the present. And I feel you, as I've shared, particularly this week, earlier this week, I was feeling a lot of that tension, and particularly movement practice is the thing that helped move it for me. So thank you so much for today. Amazing to be with you.